Isn't it crazy how a school of fish will swim in unison, quickly changing direction all at once? We see a similar pattern with large flocks of birds flying together. While it's impossible to describe why many kinds of animals follow each other in such a short video, one of the things we know for sure is that animals respond to signals from their brain, particularly pleasure and pain signals. Pain signals direct animals to avoid certain things or actions, while the pleasure signals direct animals to seek certain things. These behaviors are very consistent across multiple species. In many cases, they seek and avoid the exact same things. However, people do not demonstrate the same uniformity of behavior. Instead, people often do the exact opposite of what other people do. For example, look at the protests over the past 5 years, as a whole host of issues have shown up which are clearly pressing and important to the people involved. For the same reason that it would be hard to use a short video to describe why so many animals follow each other, we are not going to discuss the many reasons why people may protest. But it does raise an interesting question that we believe is worth asking. Why is there so much uniformity in behavior among animals while there's so much variation in human behavior? In the Japanese school system video, we've already demonstrated how people's behavior is mainly driven by their values, and we are now going to dig a little bit deeper and discover how those signals from our brain enable so much variation. These discoveries also help us to understand how our high levels of freedom are enabled through our biology. Let's go back to the protest example. When two sets of people are protesting about an issue, why do both sides of the protest feel so enthusiastic and energetic about their opinions on the issue? If the issues in question were clearly black and white or right versus wrong, wouldn't the right side be enthusiastic while the wrong side would be exhausted from keeping up? When we try to answer this question, there are a whole host of possible responses that immediately jump to mind. They may truly believe that their position is correct. The protesters may feel excited because the group is excited. They may be enthusiastic because they get to be part of a cause bigger than themselves. They feel the excitement of making a difference in the world, or maybe they're just excited to be there with their friends. And you can probably come up with even more. Notice that all of those answers have something in common. Each answer represents a concept or idea that is important to each protester. Another way to phrase this is each answer represents a personal value. But how does our brain translate our values into actions? The answer to that question is an incredibly powerful concept that can help us own our minds, our actions, and increase our own happiness. You see, our brains also use pleasure and pain signals to direct behavior, just like most animals. But in our case, we get to set the standards that our brain uses to send those signals based on the values we choose. Throughout our lives, we choose to accept and reject tons of different values. Whether it's love, the desire for praise, achievement, or any other value you can think of, these values tell our brain's reward center what to chase and what to avoid. In turn, that reward center drives our behavior with emotional signals. When we move towards things we value as good, we feel empowering emotions like happiness, joy, and enthusiasm. On the other hand, when we move away from things we value as good or towards something we think is bad, we feel oppressive emotions like sorrow and lack of motivation. This is how our brain chooses which of the millions of choices and values to follow. This example between humans and animals teaches us the value of not only owning our own lives, but the kind of abundance we can achieve by doing that. Do you want to know how to own that process? Subscribe to Beyond Abundance Academy to learn how.